All right, class A, now we're getting into the big boy, big girl stuff when it comes to indirect object pronouns, direct object pronouns. We're talking about using both of them together in the same sentence. I have object in parentheses because you might also end up with the combination of a reflexive pronoun with a direct object pronoun. One more time, let me tell you what's going on with these notes. You should already have them if you had me for 2B. If you did not have me for 2B, no harm, no foul. You just need to write them down now. Whether you had me or you did not have me, you should be watching this video as a lesson as it pertains to this chapter, and it oftentimes is a topic that students might have trouble with. So please pay attention. We're talking about using two pronouns, usually object pronouns, in the same sentence. First step, there are 6 steps. Choose and use your pronouns as usual. What you might end up with is the combination of a reflexive pronoun with a direct object pronoun or an indirect object pronoun with a direct object pronoun. So let's write this stuff down. Go ahead and put it in a box. As you see here, you should have a box around these two because you might have these two as a pair. You guys know I consider your pronouns as a happy couple. So you might have a reflexive pronoun, which you guys know these are used with reflexive verbs. How do you know if a verb is reflexive? Well, it ends in se, like levantarse or dormirse or something like that. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, refer to your pink sheet from Spanish 2. You know that your reflexive pronouns match the subject and that they don't replace anything. They can go with the subject in a sentence. For example, levantarse means to get up. If you want to say I get up at 6, you could say yo me levanto a las 6. You can have yo and me in the sentence together. Do you have to have the yo? No, you guys know you can leave out subjects if it's already clear to whom you are referring. So you might have a reflexive pronoun with a direct object pronoun, which you guys know to find a direct object pronoun, you ask who or what is being verbed. These do replace the noun that they are referring to. And your direct object pronoun choices are me, te, lo, la, nos, os, los, or las. And in an English sentence, you know that they refer to me, you, him, her, or it, us, you guys, them, or you guys. And here's an example down here. Dad always cuts the grass. Who or what's being cut? The grass. So I would replace el césped, singular masculine, referring to it, with lo. El lo corta los lunes. He cuts it on Mondays. So here's one of your options for two pronouns together in the same sentence, reflexive and direct. If I'm going too quickly, feel free to pause and press play as needed. Let's go to our next couple of pronouns you might end up with. You might end up with an indirect object pronoun with a direct object pronoun. Ask to, for, from whom to find your indirect objects. And as stated in that previous review video, one thing that's very special about indirect object pronouns, and people always forget, and you don't want to be one of them, is they do not have to replace the noun. They can go with it in a sentence. If something is being done to, for, or sometimes from someone, you absolutely must have an IOP. Me, te, le, nos, os, les are your choices. And in our example sentence, the banker lends money to Juan. And even though in English, if I have to Juan in my sentence, I ignore the lay. I don't say the banker lends money to him, to Juan. I still have to have it. If I got rid of anything in this sentence, it would be the a Juan part. The banker lends money to him. But if something's being done to or for someone, that IOP has to be there. So here's another couple combination you might have for two pronouns in the same sentence. Press pause if I've gone too quickly. Make sure you draw the box around it, and press play when you're ready to move on to step 2. So step 1 is choose, use your pronouns as usual. You already have that in your notes. Step 2, same pronoun placement rules apply. Yes, you probably already have this information somewhere else. Fine, you should probably write it down again so you have it all nice and handy. Where do pronouns go in a sentence? Before a conjugated verb or a negative command, attached at the end of an infinitive, a present participle, or an affirmative command. What are these stars here for? Well, you guys know if you attach a pronoun to either of these two things, you must place an accent on the penultimate syllable, not counting the pronoun. What does penultimate mean? Second to last. Not counting the pronoun. People forget this last step, and it's really important. All right, moving on to step 3. Alright, so choose and use your pronouns as usual. Same pronoun placement rules apply. You guys know all that stuff from before. Here's some new information if you're using two pronouns and not just one in a sentence. If you're using two pronouns in the same sentence, for example, a reflexive pronoun or an indirect object pronoun with a direct object pronoun, step 3. Keep the happy couple together. You shouldn't have one pronoun in one place and another pronoun in another place if they both belong to the same verb. And the DOP is the gentleman. So that means the DOP always goes second. He lets the ladies, the reflexive pronouns and the indirect object pronouns, go first. I don't know why some of my text isn't showing up all the way. Like the last letter is disappearing. There it is. All right. So, don't separate your pronouns. I will say that I'm sorry to hear about them, that they're taking some time off or separating. So, yeah, remember that stuff. So that's step 3 and step 4. Let's move on to step 5. Step 5 is that additional accent rules apply. You guys already know if you attach one pronoun that if you're attaching it to a present participle or an affirmative command, you need an accent on the penultimate syllable. But here's some additional stuff if you're attaching two pronouns to these things. Alright, so if you're attaching two pronouns to an infinitive, you now need an accent on the infinitive. You don't count anything out, it just goes on the infinitive. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, if you're attaching two pronouns to an infinitive, you now need an accent on the infinitive ending, the A and AR, the E and ER, the I and IR. Here's an example sentence. We are going to do the homework. There's not any pronouns there, but who or what's being done? The homework. So if I want to replace la tarea with a DOP, it's going to be la. Where can I put it? Of course, I could have put it in front of vamos because vamos is a conjugated verb, but I can attach it at the end. Old rules would be that that is fine. Actually, let me go back to them real quick. If you're attaching a pronoun to an infinitive, look, no star. I do not need an accent. One pronoun to an infinitive, no accent. But as these rules state, if I wanted to say, we are going to do it for you, and let's look here real quick. We've got the happy couple together. That's my attempt at drawing a heart with a mouse, sorry. And which one's second? The direct object pronoun, because the DOP is the gentleman. We are going to do it for you. But look, I've just attached two pronouns to an infinitive, so I now need an accent on the infinitive ending. In this case, the E in ER. So I need the accent right there. When I attached one pronoun, no accent. When I attached two, yes, an accent. Alright, and another rule, if you're attaching two pronouns to a one-syllable command, like those 8 irregulars, as, ten, ben, pon, sal, se, ve, di, you now need an accent on the command. Let me show you what that looks like. If I told you to haz la tarea, I want you to do the homework. Or what's being done, the homework, so I'd replace it with la again. Where do you put pronouns in relationship to an affirmative command? Attached at the end, asla. And you guys know the rule would be to put an accent on the penultimate syllable, not counting the pronoun. So I wouldn't count la, but as is one syllable. I would need another syllable here in order to put an accent anywhere. It would go here, but there's not enough syllables. But if I added another pronoun and said, do it for me, I've now attached two pronouns to a one-syllable command, so I now need an accent on the command. Which part is the command? As. So those are additional rules if you're attaching two pronouns. And let's move on to step 6. Don't be a lay-low. What do we mean by this? You cannot have two pronouns in a row starting with the letter L. When would that happen? In these combinations. Lay low, lay los, lay la, and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to do this with a mouse. Anytime you would have lay or lace, ooh, this is tricky, followed by a direct object pronoun, low, go away toolbar, la, los, or las, you have to do something because you can't have these combinations. You could have may, low, may la, may los, may las, but not any of those others. So what do? You must change the layer lace to say in front of a direct object pronoun that starts with the letter L. So you change these two, layer lace. You guys don't have to have this ugly illustration in your notes. You have to change layer lace to say if you're putting layer lace in front of low, la, los, or las. Because you can't lay low, but you can say low, say la, say low, say las. If this doesn't quite make sense, don't worry. We will be practicing this in class. Alright, these are your rules of double object pronouns, and we will, like I just said, be putting them together in class, but you should be fairly familiar with these to make your life a little bit easier. Alright, thanks for watching your double object pronouns notes and studying. Hasta luego.